Here's our pork loin. Some people like to score the fat over the top of their pork loin. You're more than welcome to do so. I'll make a small example. But it looks like this thing doesn't have very much fat on it to trim off. And so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna score our areas where there is fat. This will help for a good render of the fat. Notice I'm not going too deep. You really don't wanna go too deep. Pork loin is a very lean cut. And really all you wanna do is that you're gonna score it so as your fat renders, it's gonna sink in and it's gonna help cook a little bit more even. So nothing over the top. You can see it's maybe about 1/8 of an inch in of a score. So seasoning. Today we're gonna use a binder of Dijon mustard and rosemary and parsley with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Dijon mustard and rosemary go together in many different ways. Pork is one of my favorite. A little bit of Dijon mustard, a little bit goes a long way. So maybe about a tablespoon at max. We're gonna put that on there. Try to keep one hand clean so you can manage your spices and seasonings. And as you can see, there's not a ton of mustard on here. You don't need a whole lot of mustard. It has a very bold flavor. And so it's also gonna help our herb and seasoning stick to the protein as well. So again, we're gonna go salt, pepper, all sides. When I season proteins like this, I'm not really trying to season it because once you carve into it, you're gonna have a whole lot more surface area that could use seasoning. This is where I let people at the dinner table decide whether they want more sauce, melted butter, or even more seasoning if they like. All right. There we go, about that there. All right, that's about how you're gonna want your pork loin to look just before you put it on the grill. And we're gonna cook our pork loin to about 135 degrees with a carryover temperature to be about 140, 144 degrees. Most important thing to remember when you're removing large cuts of meat off your grill is that there's a thing called carryover cooking. So after you pull it off the grill and it continues to rest, it will continue to rise in temperature anywhere between 4 and 6 degrees, depending on the size of your piece of protein. Another really important thing to mention, the pit boss is set at 350 degrees. Typically when you smoke, you're gonna be smoking between 180 all the way up to about 275 degrees. We're really not trying to impart a ton of smoke flavor on here, but it will have a slight effect on it. Right at our 138 degrees for our pork loin, we're ready to pull this one off. Yeah, but look at that. Look at that. Comes right up. Slice that right in half. Nice and moist in the center, not overcooked or dry. Nobody likes dry pork. Just gonna set that right here. There we go. And you're still getting a smoke ring on this. Don't forget about them juices, guys. You gotta repurpose that. Can use the same chopped herb mixture that we rubbed, rosemary and parsley. Oh my goodness. It's ready to serve.